Hey y'all, buckle up, because we're about to take a stroll down one of the messiest boulevards in music history. You thought Keri Hilson disappeared because she caught a case of one-hit wonder-itis? Oh no, baby. The real tea is piping hot. And it involves Beyoncé, Sabotaged, and a diss track that Keri may not have even wanted to record. This ain't just industry drama. This is a setup wrapped in glitter and betrayal. So grab your popcorn, because we're unpacking the full saga of how Miss Keri Baby got blackballed and why she's finally ready to talk. Let's talk about what really happened to Keri Hilson. For years, the story has floated around that Keri's career took a nosedive after she dissed Beyoncé. But baby, there's more to this mess than just a few lyrics and hurt feelings. Keri is finally opening up and spilling the behind-the-scenes tea. And it sounds like she was set up to fail from the jump. Now, let's rewind. Keri was signed to Polow Da Don and Timbaland. And according to her, Polow was the one who basically forced her into recording that infamous diss on the Turning Me On remix. She said, "Your vision cloudy if you think that you're the best. You can dance, she can sing, but she need to move it to the left. A clear jab at Beyoncé's hit song, Irreplaceable. She also threw Ciara's name in there for good measure. She also said, she need to go have some babies. She need to sit down. She fake. Them other chicks ain't even worth my time to talk about." Then she said something about, "I'm stay turning it on. Go on and tell these folks how long I've been writing your songs. I've been putting you on. Just check the credits, ho. And if you want me, you can find me in the Decatur, ho." When the song dropped, people were not having it. The Beehive? Oh, they came swinging. And Keri's career started to hit turbulence. Sure, she had some success afterward. Pretty Girl Rock was a bop, but her momentum? Gone. Her raunchy video for The Way You Love Me didn't help either. The industry seemed to be done with her. But here's where it gets shady. For years, Keri never told the full story. In old interviews, she claimed the song wasn't about anyone and played along like it was no big deal.
But no, he didn't force me to do anything. I mean, it was a suggestion and I told him, okay, I'll try it. I'll try it, and that was just it. It's a hot verse. I love the verse. Yes, I heard specific names being brought up. No, it's not about that. No, that was not where the energy was. I'm not retracting or, feeling some kind of way about how people feel that I did this. I guess that's the only way I could say it. I'm not retracting. It's just that was never the energy behind it.
Turns out it was a big deal. She hated the verse. She didn't want to record it, but Polow Da Don allegedly threatened to shelf her album if she didn't. And she didn't even write the song. Esther Dean did. Keri only revised 3 lines, and all this time, she was keeping quiet to protect the very people who set her up. Let's talk accountability. Keri could have said no. She could have stood her ground. But let's not act like the pressure to comply when your entire career is hanging in the balance isn't real. She compromised her principles, and unfortunately, she paid the price. But it's clear now that she wasn't operating on her own. Her team knew what they were doing.
Polow wanted me to do a remix to Turning Me On. Mm-hmm. He had produced the record, and because I was on tour with Lil Wayne, I wasn't able to lay anything down. He had been on me for a couple of weeks about we need to do a remix. Okay, so I take off. It wasn't happening quick enough for him. I take off, we fly in, and he had another writer in our camp at the time. He had her write this. So he played it for me this is the remix, because I'm thinking I'm coming in to go write a remix to Turning Me On. The whole time I had been writing concepts what would I say? How do I even remix this? What do I want to? So I had lines and I had, things that I would have said, but I come into the studio and he plays me this verse and I'm automatically, I'm I'm not saying that. Mm-hmm. That was my position. And that.
But you knew it was shade when you heard it.
Yeah. You could, but I didn't know really who it was about, but I mean, one could guess. And, I'm an athlete, but I'm a finesse player. I'm not a nasty player. I'm not a dirty player. I don't even look at things like that. But we disagree there, Polow and I, because he believes in kind of the shock jock mentality. He believes in kind of playing dirty to a degree, and I don't.
Yeah, it's not rap.
So exactly. So I tried to fight him on it, and I began writing my own. That's what I did with my time there. But I want to be careful with the word I use. Mm-hmm. it was quite forceful. You know what I mean?
In an executive artist way?
Yeah, in an executive artist way only. You know, involving others and kind of threatening my career in a sense, in a real sense. Like, you're not coming, because my album wasn't out yet. So it was like, you're not coming out if you don't do this. And the mistake that I made was not continuing to fight. But I was in tears. I was crying. I was adamant that I did not want to do that.
And for people that don't know, you were signed to Polow Da Don.
I was signed to Polow and Timbaland.
Correct.
Yep, in a joint venture at Interscope Records.
Yep.
And I was young. I was super young. I felt I had no power. I felt I had no choice. But I did record my version, which had nothing like that in it. It was on subject. The song is about men. And I think days after? He remembers more because he was there.
Wow.
He remembers more. Was it days after when it leaked? It leaked like days after I did it, but he promised me that wouldn't happen, so it leaked. And that was that. And I protected him. I protected the girl that wrote it, who went on to become famous. I protected everyone in the story, so I had to eat that. And I am still eating it to this day, because I'm getting asked about that 15, however many years, 16, 17 years later. It's like I've worn the scarlet letter, really. Hopefully this is the last time I need to talk about that. But that is definitely a regret of not fighting even stronger. But again, when your career is on the line and they make it that be the way that you perceive the situation, not perceive, but it was pretty clear. But when you're that young, you're just kind of like,
maybe they know better than me.
Right.
I have
like,
to, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I never felt like they were right. But because my authenticity said the entire time, this can't be the only way to become, like, I was already doing well.
Yeah.
And in my eyes, although it gained the popularity and the recognition, the song, okay, we had a lot of spins, but from that moment on, I was like, this ain't even my path anymore. Now I gotta ride out.
What did Timbaland say?
I think he just went because they were partners. I think he just went along, but I don't remember that we involved him or that he was involved at all, because he hadn't produced that record. But I wonder now. I would love to ask him, like, what did you think about that? What I do know is he went on to work with B and J,
So did Polow Da Don,
and tour with him, and so did Polow. And I'm sitting there like, wow. But again, I was trying to keep peace, and also not wanting to put my career. They were still my bosses. I didn't want to put my career further into detriment. So I just didn't want to step in the shit anymore, though. So I didn't want to hold no magazine with her on I just froze. I just was like shook. So whenever anybody brought it up, probably the last time we were here, like, please don't bring up Beyonce. It was probably that kind of environment, because I was shook. I was scared. I was not of her. Like, I love her. I think she's incredible. She's one of the greatest artists of all time. And I'm a fan, like, have always been. That's never been in question for me. But now it's a name I can't say. It's a magazine I can't hold. It's a conversation I don't want to have publicly, just because I don't want to piss anybody off. I don't want to make things even more weird than they already were. I just wanted it to go away.
Keri was on the rise. She had hits with Kanye, Nayo, Timbaland, Lil Wayne. The girl was booked and busy. She didn't need to diss anybody. So why did her team want smoke with Beyonce, of all people? Polow is known for being petty, and Keri says he plays dirty. Was this about personal beef, ego, industry politics? Whatever it was, the plan backfired. The worst part? Everyone else came out unscathed. Polow and Timbaland went on to work with Jay-Z and Beyoncé. Esther Dean penned some of Rihanna's biggest hits. Meanwhile, Keri got the short end of the stick. She became the poster child for what happens when you go against Queen Bey. And Jay-Z? Let's not pretend he wasn't relieved to have one less competitor in the space. Keri was positioned to be right up there with Bey, Rihanna, and Nicki, but that trajectory was cut short. And here's the kicker. When Keri finally started talking about what really went down, folks were side-eyeing her like, why now? Sis has been dealing with the consequences for over a decade, while everyone else just moved on with their lives and cashed their checks. Esther Dean finally broke her silence too. She admitted she wrote that verse and apologized for her part in the drama. She said, I submitted a lot of verses for that remix. One got picked and it was co-written with Keri. Looking back, it was childish and didn't age well. I see how it hurt people, especially women, and I take full accountability. I've worked with and supported many women since, but that doesn't erase the moment. I'm sorry for my part in it. Growth is real, and so is this apology. But she tried to frame it like she and Keri co-wrote it, and Keri had to hop into the shade room comments like, Dean, I personally don't think this is our fight to have. I've respected you on this matter for 16 years, and attempted to do that again yesterday, while finally expressing the truth when asked. But since you're coming to the table, let's be clear you used the word co-wrote. I rewrote 3 lines in your verse, which was the only battle I won in our whole matter. But you weren't there when all of this was going down, and we didn't write it together. These lines are mine, been getting dollars, boy. Go get your money up. No, you ain't the only homie on me. Lined up the softest section lines about a boy. Because not only did I strongly disagree with the unnecessary, hateful sentiments towards other women, and I've never been a fan of the publicity stunt method, I also argued in my trail of attempts that this verse isn't even on subject with the original song, which is how I even got those 3 lines on the remix. They were taken from the ideas and lines in my phone that I mentioned in a full interview. You chose to stay quiet for 16 years, but coming out now only when you felt a portion of the heat. I've gotten all this time, I really wasn't going to discuss this anymore. But in that interview, we talked about the backlash of not speaking up for myself. So I just want to finally clear the air respectfully. Keri's finally telling her truth. She's releasing new music. An album called We Need to Talk is on the way, and she just dropped a new single called Bay. Maybe now she can finally reclaim the career she was robbed of. It's time people stop dragging her and start recognizing how dirty the industry did her. So, yes, she made a misstep. But let's not forget who built the trap and shoved her into it. Keri Hilson was never the villain. She was just the scapegoat. If you made it this far, sound off in the comments. Was Keri done dirty, or did she play herself? Either way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, babes.